Let's begin with some glamour, some razzle-dazzle. Let's go to the south, to the sunshine, to the Cannes Film Festival, where the competition is coming to a close. And as the final features are being screened for the prestigious Palme d'Or, our culture editor, Eve Jackson, is there to give us a feeling of the past 2 weeks. Eve, one point to mention, Monica Bellucci has hit the red carpet this evening. What's going on?
Well, there's always something special when Monica Bellucci arrives on the Cannes red carpet because she's a star who really belongs to the history of this festival. She was here in 2000 for Stephen Hopkins' feature Suspicion and Gaspar Noé's thriller Irreversible in 2002. She's also been on the jury of the Cannes Film Festival. Tonight, though, she's here for a movie called The Birthday Party. And I have to say, I just left the screening halfway through to come and speak to you, and it is very gripping. It's the Palme d'Or contender from the French director Léa Mysius, who previously made the acclaimed films Ava and The Five Devils. Now, it's a dark psychological thriller set in isolated marshlands. A family preparing a birthday celebration slowly begins to unravel as strange events start happening around them. Bellucci plays this mysterious Italian painter living next door alongside Hafsia, Herzi and Bastien, Bouillon. Léa Mysius also co-wrote the musical film, you might remember, Emilia, Pérez, a few years ago, so expectations are very high for this late competition premiere.
I just wonder when you try and sneak out, because they understand that you're a journalist, whether you get funny looks, whether it's okay or not. Yeah, have a think about that, Eve. There's another movie that you have talked about and you love. This is based on a book by the British author Keiran Goddard. It's called I See Buildings Fall Like Lightning. Tell us about that.
Well, that comes from director Clio Barnard, and it turns this story about 5 working-class friends from Birmingham drifting apart into something really emotional and universal. Great reviews here at the Cannes Film Festival for this. Joe Cole, and the actor who people know from Peaky Blinders, Gangs of London and A Prayer Before Dawn, is brilliant as the one friend who escaped, got rich, and discovers that success doesn't necessarily make you happy. Well, I caught up with both him and Clio Barnard earlier in the festival.
Seriously, you fucker. No. I mean, I'm no way with it, do you know what I mean? I can take it or leave it, believe. And then Calvin's like, oi, you need to hold it down, Jack. Put your phone back, quit staring into space and eat your snack, that's that. She'll want you much more for not hanging on. Stop me if I'm wrong.
Joe and the rest of the cast just did such remarkable work of kind of bonding and creating a friendship group that I think we all probably know those people that we were at school with and grew up with, who know us inside out and we have a real intimacy with.
He hasn't found happiness and he hasn't found the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and needs to reconnect with his friends and his hometown. And for me, it resonated a little bit with some of my own life in some ways. But also it was just such a well-rounded, fully fledged character along with all the others.
Eve, you spoke to us this week about red carpet rebellions, about the furore over Bolloré. What's your overall feeling about Cannes 2026?
What really jumps out this year is that Cannes seems split between queer stories and war stories, Gavin. You've got films like The Man I Love, starring Rami Malek during the AIDS crisis in 1980s New York, then a Japanese drama, Nagi Notes, and Garance, which also explores sexuality and relationships. Then there's this huge presence of war films, De Gaulle, Moulin, about resistance hero Jean Moulin, and Fatherland, which is a film dealing with post-war trauma and memory. And some films combine both themes. Coward is a First World War story about masculinity and hidden sexuality, while La Bola Negra, starring Penelope Cruz and Glenn Close, explores queer identity during the Spanish Civil War. So this definitely feels like filmmakers are responding to a world that feels more politically divided and uncertain right now.
We are 24 hours away, Eve. Would you put something out there? Have you got a feeling that there is a certain winner this year for the Palme d'Or?
It is so divided, Gavin. No one has the same opinion on what film should win. There isn't a standout film like in previous years, like Jafar Panahi's, which won last year, and lots of people just before had their money on that one. If I had to put my money on something, I would possibly say the Norwegian-Romanian film from Christian Mungu, which is called Fjord. Now, this is a film that stars the Norwegian actress Renate Reinsve and Sebastian Stan, the Marvel hero. So this is a huge film, an interesting film, dark and settling, about people in different communities living together. So that really struck me as a potential winner, but maybe it could be the Russian film Minotaur, or there's an American film from James Gray called Paper Tiger, starring Scarlett Johansson. Some people are putting their money on that one. So really, I'm not a betting lady, so I wouldn't put my money on any of them, I have to say.
Very wise. Eve, it's been a pleasure talking to you. As always, we will talk tomorrow. Eve Jackson, our culture editor in Cannes.